Have you ever wondered if there is something on Earth, almost immortal, tiny, strange creatures that can endure things that even humans with modern technology have to give up on? Today I'm going to tell you about the real superheroes of the natural world. They don't wear capes, don't fly, but they have survived hundreds of millions of years through apocalypses, even through outer space. And perhaps they are teaching us lessons about life that science is still trying to conquer. Let's start with a creature so tiny that you need a microscope to see it clearly. Tardigrade, also known as water bear. These tiny eight-legged creatures seem born to challenge every limit of biology. Scientists have sent them into spaceships, exposed them naked to the cold vacuum of space, without air or pressure. They bombarded them with radiation, hundreds of times the lethal dose for humans. Boiled, frozen near absolute zero, crushed under pressure 6 times greater than the deepest ocean trenches, they still survive. When the environment becomes harsh, the tardigrade will completely shut down. They push out nearly all water from their bodies, retract their legs, turning into a hard, dry ball called a tun. In this state, they can hibernate for decades, even centuries, without eating or drinking. Just a drop of water. They wake up, stretch their legs, and continue life as if nothing happened. They have survived all 5 mass extinction events in Earth's history, from the summit of Everest to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Tardigrades are everywhere, and scientists believe that if one day Earth faces doomsday, the tardigrade will still be crawling around casually, maybe even complaining about the heat. If you think the tardigrade is already the peak, wait. Let's talk about a species that challenges death from old age itself, the immortal jellyfish. This small, transparent jellyfish has a real biological reset button. When it gets old, injured, or sick, it doesn't just lie there waiting to die. It sinks to the ocean floor and reverses its cells back to their earliest form. From an adult jellyfish, it becomes a blob of tissue, then develops into a polyp and finally buds off genetically identical copies of itself. This process can repeat indefinitely. Scientists have never seen an immortal jellyfish die of old age. They originated in the Mediterranean but have now spread to oceans worldwide, possibly thanks to individuals surviving in ship ballast water that would kill most other creatures. They are studying this transdifferentiation mechanism, hoping one day to apply it to human medicine. Imagine if our cells could rejuvenate like that. Remember the story of the fish thought to be extinct for 65 million years? Coelacanth, the ancient fish that came back from the dead. In 1938, a South African fisherman pulled up a strange fish in his net. Scientists looked at it and were shocked. It looked exactly like fossils from the dinosaur era. Its lobed fins move in an alternating pattern, like walking underwater, an important clue about how fish evolved into land animals. They live in deep underwater caves, grow over 2 meters, live up to 100 years, with slow metabolism so they eat very little. In 1997, another population was discovered in Indonesia. Now there are only a few hundred left. They give birth to live young after over a year of gestation, one of the records in the fish world. Finding a coelacanth is like accidentally encountering a dinosaur casually swimming offshore waiting to be noticed. Now moving to creatures that look not cute at all but super resilient. Naked mole rats. These hairless, wrinkled-skinned rodents with big teeth live in East Africa. They live like insect colonies with a queen and worker rats. Normal rats rarely live past 2 years, but naked mole rats comfortably reach 30 years with no increase in mortality as they age. They are almost immune to cancer thanks to a special form of hyaluronic acid. When oxygen runs out in their tunnels, they switch to using fructose like plants to keep their brains alive. Their skin lacks certain pain neurotransmitters, making them immune to acid burns and chemical irritants. Researching them could unlock keys to curing cancer and extending human lifespan. Can you believe there is a frog that freezes solid every winter, dies, and comes back to life? Wood frog. The North American wood frog. In winter, they freeze almost their entire body. Heart stops beating, brain stops working. Up to 65% of their body water turns to ice. Eyes cloudy, limbs stiff and brittle. By medical definition, they are dead. But when spring comes, the ice melts, the heart restarts, and they hop away to find a mate as if nothing happened. The secret is glucose and urea as natural antifreeze, allowing ice to form only between cells, not inside. Scientists are studying them to preserve human organs longer, from hours to days or weeks. What about the Greenland shark? They can live over 400 years, the longest-lived vertebrates on Earth. Some individuals swimming in the Arctic today were born before Columbus discovered America, before Shakespeare, before the telescope. Their age is determined by carbon dating proteins in their eye lenses, which form before birth and never change. The oldest one was about 512 years old. They grow slowly, reach sexual maturity at around 150 years, and swim very slowly in near freezing water. Almost all are blind due to parasites, but they still hunt successfully using smell. They eat reindeer and polar bears that fall through the ice. Learning how their cells avoid damage over centuries could save us from age-related diseases. Where shoe crab has existed virtually unchanged for 450 million years. They witnessed dinosaurs rise and fall, existed before trees. Their blue copper-based blood contains LALAL that clots immediately upon exposure to bacterial toxins. Every injectable drug and medical device on Earth is tested using their blood. Every year, hundreds of thousands are harvested, about 30% of their blood drained, then returned. They spawn on beaches during full moon high tides, a spectacle repeated for hundreds of millions of years. Their design is so perfect that evolution stopped. Lungfish, the African lungfish, can survive buried in dried mud for years. When pools dry up, they burrow into mud, secrete a mucus cocoon, and enter estivation. Some have survived inside clay bricks shipped internationally. They are the evolutionary link between fish and land animals. Hydra. Tiny freshwater animals may be truly immortal. Scientists have kept them for over 4 years with no signs of aging. They can regenerate from any piece, even if turned inside out. Now let's talk about crocodiles, the real survivor warriors. Crocodiles survived the asteroid impact that killed most dinosaurs 66 million years ago. They didn't run away or change much, they were simply too perfect for their role. Their body plan has remained virtually unchanged for over 200 million years. Armored body, incredibly powerful jaws, super efficient metabolism allowing them to go over a year without eating. When the asteroid hit, they lived in freshwater environments buffered from dust, cold, and food chain collapse. Even more special is that crocodiles show negligible senescence. A 70-year-old crocodile looks and acts no different from a 20-year-old. Fertility remains high, immunity strong, muscles powerful. They continue growing throughout life with no biological limit to lifespan. Most die from accidents, disease, or territorial fights rather than old age. Imagine if humans were like that. Aging but still strong, still hunting, still dominating. Scientists are studying their genes and metabolism to find ways to slow human aging. Crocodiles are not just fearsome predators, they are living proof that a good design can last almost forever. Next is the planarian worm, tiny flatworms with the craziest regeneration ability on the planet. You can cut a planarian into hundreds of pieces, even 279 pieces, and each tiny piece will grow into a complete new worm in just a few weeks. Not just the body, but their memories are also retained. Scientists train them to navigate mazes for food, then cut off their heads. 2 weeks later, when new heads grew, these worms still remember the old maze, despite having entirely new brains. This shows their memory is not only in the brain but distributed throughout the nervous system, or even encoded at the cellular level in ways science doesn't fully understand yet. Planarians are almost biologically immortal. They maintain extremely high stem cell populations throughout life, so damage never accumulates. Cut them, turn them inside out, graft multiple together, all survive and function normally. A fragment, as small as 1/179 of the body, is enough to create a whole new animal. This ability fascinates researchers because it could open the future of regenerating limbs, spinal cords, even internal organs for humans. Imagine one day, instead of waiting for transplants, we can just activate a similar mechanism to let the body heal itself. A tiny worm that can regrow its brain and keep its memories. That is truly a miracle of life. Finally, the weta, the giant monster insect of New Zealand. Wetas larger than mice, weighing over 70 grams, living in high cold alpine regions. On freezing winter nights, they allow water throughout their bodies to freeze solid. Heart stops, brain shows no electrical activity, blood and tissues full of ice. By any ordinary definition, they are dead. But when the sun rises and temperature increases, ice melts, heart restarts, they wake up and continue as if nothing happened. Some species withstand temperatures below -10 and can go through multiple freeze-thaw cycles in one season without damage. Like wood frogs, wetas use special mechanisms so ice forms only between cells, not destroying the inside. They evolved in New Zealand, an isolated land without mammalian predators for millions of years, becoming large and filling roles like mice or rabbits elsewhere. When humans introduced rats and mice, weta populations crashed because they had no evolved defenses against mammalian hunters. Now conservationists move them to predator-free islands, so they can continue their ancient cycle of dying and coming back to life. Wetas are not only proof of insect resilience, but also remind us of the fragility of ecosystems when humans intervene. All these creatures remind us of one profound thing: life is extremely resilient, and full of surprises. They don't just survive, they teach us about regeneration, anti-aging and enduring extremes. Perhaps one day, thanks to research on tardigrades, immortal jellyfish, planarians or crocodiles, humans will live healthier, longer, and understand more about the secrets of life itself. What do you think? Which species amazes you the most? The crocodile with its unchanged form over hundreds of millions of years, the planarian with its ability to retain memories when growing a new brain, or the weta with temporary death every winter? Share in the comments below. If you like strange stories about the natural world, please like, share, and subscribe for more.
Thank you for listening until the end. See you in the next video.